what I wanted to ask you is, for me, the VAs was a game changer. It sounds like at some point in your business, that was a crucial segment in your business. What tips would you give to somebody, like, or where could somebody find a virtual assistant? Maybe their first hire, because I know people like maybe they don't have time to hire somebody 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week or whatever, but maybe they could start off with a virtual assistant. What tips, what gold nuggets would you share in that department?
Sure. Well, if they want to talk to me, I can direct them in the right direction. I mean, I'm happy to do that. There's places out there, services. The first thing I would say is I'm a big believer in DISC profiling. So DISC is a personality profiling system, and every role of things that you want to do are a relation to DISC. So you have D, I, S, and C. So I'm a big believer in understanding, first of all, what do I want them to do? And what is the DISC profile for that? So whenever I find virtual assistants for people, first thing is we want to know, okay, what are you going to have them do? Because if you're let's say an I, which is a very social person like me, you're butterfly all over the place, that's not an accountant. An accountant is a C. I don't know what their resume says. I hear what their DISC says, because that's how I know they're true who they are, at least on the surface. So the first thing I do is I understand what is the role I want them to do. And look, you can't have an end all be all person. You just can't. It doesn't exist. It's kind of like the white unicorn. It doesn't happen. You've got to find, okay, what is the task I want them to do? Is it, office managerial? Is it sales? Is it accounting? Like, what are they doing? And then what is the DISC for that? And the thing is a lot of people think like, oh, I don't have enough. A lot of people will tell us, like, when I place for other people or other people out there, they'll say, I don't have enough work for a person. Well, first of all, you can hire a VA for 5 hours a week. But I guarantee you, if you're doing it correctly, you could probably fill 10 to 20 hours a week with the virtual assistant if you're using them effectively. Because again, the biggest challenge is, what are you not doing because you're doing something that's not what you should be doing? So for example, if your job as an agent is to close deals, and I coach agents as well, so I'm very familiar with all that. So I would tell them, like, look, if your job is to close deals, your job is not to sign contracts. Your job is not to do CMAs. That's not a money-making position. The only time you make money is when you talk and negotiate. Now, obviously, there's laws and stuff. Every state's different, but if you can have them pull comps, create contracts, send emails, verify documents, get title open, you could do all those things. How many hours are you saving? Those are not money-making tasks. When I owned my company and I had salespeople, I wanted my salespeople selling. If it was not making me money, I didn't want them doing it. I would outsource it, because it's not what I'm hiring them to do. And normally salespeople are horrible at paperwork. I hate paperwork. I'm bad at it because that's not my skill set. I will sub it out to a virtual assistant saying, you guys take care of that. I want to get in front of someone and close deals. That's what I do. I want to close a deal, hand it off to the VA. They file it. They get it in the system. Do your thing. And so if you start thinking of all the little things that you do, and a lot of the things that a lot of us have is, I have to do it. I have to be the one to talk to the owner. I have to be the one to open title. No, you don't. That's just your ego. That is it. That is the sure way to stay small. And you have to realize the only way to scale is leadership. And the only way you can lead is by delegating tasks and duties. That's the only way.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Even then, like, let's say somebody hires their first assistant. Sometimes I see people that they just expect the assistant to already know everything.
Yeah.
They just expect them, like, and maybe that was even the case for me. Like, whenever I hired my first assistant, I'm like, all right, you're going to input the listing on the MLS. Here it is. Or you're going to do this.